doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Oh, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. The headliner last night in the preseason action was Anthony Richardson. What does the future hold for the Colts' 23-year-old quarterback? It feels like it's now or never in Indianapolis. And the opportunity, it was going to be a big one in the preseason for Anthony Richardson. Completes 2 of his first 3 passes, then bam, unblocked rusher goes around the edge, hits Richardson. He goes down, dislocates the pinky on his throwing hand. His night is done. Majority of the steps then go to Daniel Jones. And then the question is, when will Richardson be able to spin that rock at the level needed to figure it out for the Indianapolis Colts? What it do, and welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Zay Johnson with you this morning. Adrian holding it down on ProView Networks. Who popped last night? Well, there were a couple standout players across the NFL in the 3 preseason games. And they said, we will tell you what storylines matter, what performances matter, not just last night, but going into the weekend. Also look ahead, they said, to the rookie quarterbacks making their debuts. Travis Hunter will be going on both sides of the football. And the Lobos scrimmaged yesterday, and what were some of the main takeaways for Coach Eck in that scrimmage? We have it all covered for you. But last night, all eyes were on Anthony Richardson. Can they develop him? Can he take advantage of this opportunity, settle in, and find some consistency in the Colts offense? 2 for 3, 21 yards, and then he got hurt. Just 7 minutes to go in the first quarter, it ended his night. And Coach Shane Steichen said after the game, they're going to have to readjust their plan because it was going to be even. Anthony Richardson was going to play the majority of the first half. Daniel Jones was going to get an opportunity to match it. But at this point in time, you know what you have in Daniel Jones. You know, there's a veteran guy, solid floor, decent ceiling with him if he's able to execute that offense, lean on Jonathan Taylor. It's all about opportunity for Anthony Richardson. And you just want to see it. And as long as he's able to make it healthy to the season, Anthony Richardson should be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. And if he gets beat out by Daniel Jones, then that's the end of Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. The biggest question with Richardson was just experience. He just did not play enough. In college, hasn't had enough reps in the NFL due to injuries, due to inconsistencies. Dude just got to play. And I look at last night, and it's an opportunity we discussed. You want to see him take those steps forward, or at least see something in the preseason. But ultimately, it comes down, the dude just has to be the starter week 1. And it's one of those, I don't necessarily think it's a real competition, because it's really just Anthony Richardson can go out there and lose to a job. Well, yeah, if he got hurt, or if he can't even show a competitive level in preseason. But again, it's just another bump in the road for Richardson. Now, I'll get it. You know, it's a pinky. It's something that swelling goes down. How's your grip on the football? Move forward. But it always feels like it's something with Anthony Richardson where it's 1 step forward and the dude is taking 2 steps back.
Yeah, 100%. And then on this play, it's very, very unfortunate because, you know, not to like get too super football one-on-one, but it's kind of a mixture of it's more so. Okay, so you look at the hit, right? And it's like, okay, how many guys could have just taken that hit? And then you think about it, and it's like, okay, if you ask a bunch of other quarterbacks sit there and take that hit, there might be more things wrong with them. just because of the physical condition he's in.
He got hit pretty darn good, man.
He got smashed. Now, if you look like on that play, there's the lineman starts to go out to pick up that blitzer, and then he just leaves him, and that's because there's a linebacker that comes to blitz. As an offensive lineman, if there's a linebacker blitzing a gap, and you've also got a defensive end rushing or outside, as hard as it is to let him go, you are literally taught to take the inside threat because they are, mathematically they're supposed to be able to get to the quarterback quicker. They're faster and they have a better angle. So the lineman leaves the edge rusher and has to pick up the linebacker that's blitzing. As a lineman, you're supposed to do this. As a quarterback, you're supposed to identify this pre-snap, and you're supposed to recognize that a linebacker might blitz. There's supposed to be some sort of communication. This is what preseason's for. In this situation, not only does Richardson not see the blitzer pre-snap, he's got two receivers over to that side of the field, and he's staring down guys to the left. If he would have just gone through his progressions and maybe even looked down the middle of the field, just maybe out of his peripheral, he'd been able to see this guy. Now, obviously, it's not easy to do something like this if you don't already have that fear of actually being hit. So I think taking a hit like this, I bet that might be the last time he'll just not identify a blitzer pre-snap because he got his pinky dislocated from it. So hopefully, this makes him better. I don't think it's, the end of his season, of course, by any means. I think he can still win the competition.
And that's the biggest question is, is it a real competition or do you just have to start Anthony Richardson at this point in time? Daniel Jones was only 10 of 21, 144 yards, but there's still moments where you see, all right, yeah, that guy is an experienced NFL quarterback. Just as you said, the way he's handling things at the line, getting out of the pocket, making plays downfield. You know what's there with Daniel Jones. And that's the thing with Anthony Richardson. Does it come down to, hey, the dude just needs to play and you just got to eat it however it looks for the first couple weeks? Or legitimately, are they just seeing things where he's just not identifying what he needs to do? And, man, this one is tough because, yeah, you broke down the play fantastically. I'm looking at it again, and it's just a total, his first read is to the left. No one picks up the dude and just, boom.
Yeah.
Blows him up.
And this is one of the, these are one of the things that usually you get out of the way in practice. But someone as big as Richardson, I'd imagine that, and his list of priorities, getting decleated is not on the list because of how big he is. So he's got that size, so maybe he's not fearing getting hit in the pocket like that. But things like this is what will make a quarterback identify blitzers for the rest of their career. It's also why, veterans like a Joe Flacco, he's going to pick up a blitzer, right? He's going to notice because he's been hit a billion times when he didn't pick it up.
And I know you said there's certain times you don't want to get too deep into the weeds in this, but I also think that running back release is interesting in that play. Does he have to chip right there, or is he a hot read on that?
So let's see. Let me pull this back up momentarily.
Yeah, we'll get. You can bring that one up because I think those little things are fascinating because we are talking about practice. It is preseason football, and Anthony Richardson was the headliner last night. A positive for the Indianapolis Colts is their 14th overall pick, Tyler Warren, 3 catches for 40 yards. And there's some playmakers in Indianapolis. This isn't all just, Anthony Richardson doesn't have anything. We still got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. You got a good possession receiver, slot guy in Josh Downs. Michael Pittman, if he is healthy, he can be a weapon downfield. So it's not completely bare on the offense, especially investing that 14th overall pick in the tight end out of Penn State and Tyler Warren, and he looked good last night. And that's what you want to see is like, okay, there is enough there for a quarterback to be successful. And Indianapolis still looking at the 4th overall pick from the 2023 draft going, all right, we're giving you opportunities. You got to be able to stay on the field. They want to see it because when you think about, all right, what is the ceiling for Anthony Richardson? What do they want him to be? And it is, it's Jalen Hurts, and it's a guy that can make the deep throws down the field, the right decisions at the line of scrimmage, probably use his strength and athleticism in short yardage situations and run an offense like that.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this play again, and that's like it's a great point you made. And so in this, there are some situations where a running back is supposed to, they call it, the coaches will actually tell you, hey, go break the defensive end's rib. And the running back's supposed to go help out in the block there. But so not on a route like that. Usually if there is that type of route, they'll chip them and then run some type of like curl or a Texas route. But on a flat route like that, that actually makes it even more of Richardson's fault because that's supposed to be his safety route.
Yeah.
That's his route that if he was to have identified that blitzer, the running back's right off of that blitzer.
Open in the flat right there.
It's right there. So that's where his initial route should have been, unless he's maybe somebody like...
Because he didn't see it from the right side. He was looking left the whole time.
Yep, and that's one of the worst. You cannot do that. And, there's some people who you got to touch the fire and get burnt to realize that you're not supposed to touch fire.
Yeah. Hey, don't touch that socket. That's hot.
Exactly.
You find out. And Anthony Richardson found out last night. Now, it's just a dislocated pinky, but again, it's another speed bump on the road trying to figure out if Anthony Richardson has anything when it comes to being the franchise quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. We are jam-packed. We still got some sound to hear. I had a conversation with UNM wide receivers coach Colin Lockett, who is an Aztec alum, played 4 years at San Diego State under Brady Hoke and Rocky Long, but he has a really good story about his career, what he took from those coaches, his time, chasing that dream, being in a couple NFL camps, but his vision for not just himself, but UNM's wide receivers, because that is one of the things that is going to be under the microscope going into the season. We saw some of that play out yesterday in the scrimmage the Lobos had. First scrimmage of fall camp, so we'll get into that. We'll hear from Colin Lockett coming up at 7:30. When we get back on the other side, who else popped last night and what you need to watch for? Is JJ championship worthy? It's opening drive right here on the Sports Animal.
It's part sports.
We have football on the brain.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction
Home Safety Company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the...
Well, it's not Joe Burrow. He is one of those guys that you just look at and people want to give the takes that, Joe Burrow needs to step up. Joe Burrow's fine. You saw it last night. They asked him to play some preseason football, 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Joe Burrow's good. That's not the Bengals' problem. It was Joe Burrow or the offense needing to play preseason football. This is why they've got off to slow starts the last 2 years and just had to get nuclear down this stretch of final few weeks of the season trying to make the playoffs. It's figuring out how to make a bad defense and average defense to go along with what should be an elite offense. When you have Joe Burrow, who led the league in completions, yards, and touchdowns last season. But Joe Burrow stepped up, played, looked good. No surprise there. What you're looking at is anyone on that defense, Trey Hendrickson not yet there, they're going to step up.
Oh, my gosh, they look bad, that defense. We hit that round in the head. We knew they were going to play because they were bad last year. And that Eagles, I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I'm watching. I'm like, is this Tanner McKee guy like going to be some big story if Hurts ever goes down, or is he actually?
Why he played a lot of football, just in case. These QB2s, they matter. Eagles 34, Bengals 27. But what were you looking for from that game? What were you looking for from the Ravens and Colts? Well, we talked about Anthony Richardson. The nightcap, Seahawks and Raiders, it was the second half that showed some future promise for Seattle. Its opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. J.J. Buck, Zay Johnson with you. So Shamash Stewart, first-round pick who held out for a while. He was on the field, played 18 defensive snaps, got a TFL in there, but showing his athleticism. They need Stewart and Trey Hendrickson bad on that defense, and that's going to decide just how good Cincinnati is this year, because zero problem with that offense. It's not about Joe Burrow needing to play preseason football, but they asked him to, and he did what you'd expect of Joe Burrow. Now you look at the Eagles and Bengals. The Eagles in this. It was time for the backups to shine, showcase the depth. What has stood out about Philadelphia the last couple of years defensively? It was, man, how do they just keep inserting guys into this defense? How do they keep just hitting home runs on the late picks in the first round? It's because they have an established foundation, and then they just keep adding to that. You look at their first-round pick linebacker, Shaheed Campbell, almost had an interception. Fourth-round defensive tackle Ty Robinson got 2 pressures, a sack in there, and that's what Philadelphia has done. They've laid the foundation defensively, and they just keep finding guys that can make impactful plays to insert in that front seven. One of the guys that really stood out for me last night, now, we knew he had the athleticism, but, man, Jalen Milroe is a fun watch.
Yeah, he is. He is.
They ran some RPO stuff, some zone read stuff, did the Seahawks. They were taking on Vegas. But you see, man, they're, as a QB2, Sam Darnold's getting the opportunity, got signed in the offseason, coming off his fantastic year in Minnesota. Milroe's exciting, man. And he is one of those guys that, okay, so, bring it in a little bit. Let's see what you can start doing from the pocket. But he definitely popped for me. Just watched him in the second half.
Yeah, I saw, I will say one thing about Milroe is, of course, it's easy to say with a dual-threat quarterback, you're interested to see how they can throw the football. But, of course, that's my big thing with him, because even in the pro days, the pro days, the combines, he was struggling a little bit with his accuracy. But I mean, there's a lot of these quarterbacks where you watch them and, throw in and you're wondering how they throw for so many yards. And that's because when the lights do cut on, and they're actually in the middle of a football play, their natural instincts kick in. And I think Milroe is just one of those guys where he's a football player. Yeah, he plays quarterback, but I think he's just a very good offensive football player.
I do agree with that. And as a backup, I think it's really interesting. Now he's QB3. Drew Lock is still the QB2 at this moment in time for Seattle. And, Drew Lock connected with a former Mountain West wide receiver, a rookie that's turning some heads in Seahawks camp, the 5th-round pick, Troy Horton from Colorado State. He's been receiving a lot of positive buzz. Stepped up last night, had 3 passes for 31 yards, and that touchdown reception from Drew Lock. And it looks like Troy Horton can end up being potentially the wide receiver 3 for Seattle in that offense. You got veteran Marquez Valdez-Scantling there. But Horton was a menace. He was the best wide receiver in the Mountain West Conference. Got hurt last year, wasn't able to finish the season the way he wanted to. Slid down to the 5th round, and you're like, yeah, that is a playmaker, and that is someone who could be on the field a lot for the Seahawks this season. Speaking of another Mountain West player, Ashton Genty.
Yeah, he didn't look too good. I took him over 28 yards from Prize Picks.
And 3 carries for -1 yard.
Yeah, I will say there is...
Now, who was...
Yep.
Like you said, who was on the offensive line, what they have out there. But Vegas, preseason football, we do have to take certain things with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not worried about Ashton Genty. We're looking deeper in these games. But, that was his debut, was 3 carries for -1 yard.
Yeah, the carry that went for negative, I mean, he made a decent little spin move. Of course, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It was still negative yards. But, I mean, as soon as he grabbed the ball, there's a defensive tackle right there in his face. Put a nice spin move on the guy, then got gang tackled. I will say one thing I noticed is his very first carry. It may sound crazy. A running back got tackled in open field. But in college, you just didn't see him get tackled one-on-one. And then I will say his first carry, you saw a guy one-on-one tackle him. But I do think that he's one of those guys where the more he gets reps, I think he'll kick in. But I don't think they're going to overrun the ball with him this much in the preseason.
He's absolutely one of those guys that he got a couple touches. Let's see how he gets oiled up in week 1 on 15 to 18 touches, against NFL depth chart 1 defenses.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. A lot of these guys, there's the cornerback for the Ravens, Bilal Cohn, and he snapped his leg yesterday, dude. And Bilal, funny enough, he's somebody, he hops in. When I hop on the game, he joins in there a lot, and he joins in there yesterday, and he was just upset about that. And he said, one thing he said, man, even though it's preseason, when you get out on that field for the first time, you feel like you're on top of the world. And he was like, anybody who's working to try to get there, it's all worth it. You feel like you're on top of the world. But he was in the end zone, just completely snapped his leg, tore his ACL. He said that everything's fine. He's still going to be a part of the team. They're not cutting him or anything, so he's going to get that surgery probably in a few weeks once the swelling goes down. Then he'll be back. But, he was saying that the Ravens got a real good culture. Like the stars of the team, Lamar, Derrick Henry, Jair Alexander, they all came up to him. We got you. You'll be fine. You're with one of the greatest organizations. So the Ravens, I think, are also showing they're showing some good team culture over there in Baltimore.
Yeah, and that's the challenge. And that's when you look at certain players of why you don't put them on the field in the preseason versus the opportunity for those guys that are trying to make a roster that this could be some of their biggest moments playing in the preseason. Unfortunately, there were some not just injuries last night on the field, but some big ones in camp. And a player to watch this weekend because the expectations are there at a high level, and it's J.J. McCarthy. And can J.J. be championship worthy? Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell said it this week. The next step for the Vikings organization is becoming championship worthy. Now, Kevin O'Connell is 34-17 since taking over the Vikings.
Okay.
And we've seen them establish an offense, what they were able to do with Sam Darnold last season, a 14-win team. But they're 0-2 in the playoffs. Now look at J.J. McCarthy stepping into this situation. He's going to be fun to watch because you still got Justin Jefferson. Now, the hamstring, yes, they're monitoring that, but he's not going to have Justin Jefferson tomorrow. Right, you go into week 1. Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson. Got to wait till week 4 until Jordan Addison gets back. But this is what you want if you're a young quarterback. It is an offensive head coach that's molded offenses around different quarterbacks, been really successful at a high level. And after taking a redshirt season last year due to injury, it's about reps. Much like we're talking about with Anthony Richardson, that's what J.J. McCarthy needs now just at the NFL level. We saw him produce at Michigan. And one of the things J.J. McCarthy has to overcome is everyone said, oh, yeah, it was Michigan. They were stacked on the lines, and all they did was run the football. And now he has to not only go out there and show, hey, I'm going to be consistent. You can trust me. But in those moments, is he going to be a guy that can make the big throw in the fourth quarter? Is he going to be a guy that when you have to play a little bit outside the system, when you're behind, you can make those big plays?
Yeah, that's a very, very big fact, because when you get guys like McCarthy, this is also what I kind of worried about with Hutchinson a little bit, but he translated very well. So, I mean, they're two completely different positions, but I think that McCarthy will transfer as well. But when you get these quarterbacks who you haven't seen them have to improvise too much in college, because, I mean, you got a coach like Jim Harbaugh, he knows exactly what he wants to do. And the last thing he's trying to do is make life difficult on his quarterback. I don't think I've ever seen him do that for any team he's been a coach of. So, in McCarthy's case, again, just like we were talking about the other quarterbacks, you got some other quarterbacks like Milroe, who it's a lot more common. You'll see him go and scramble and make something out of nothing. But you wonder if he can just run a system. McCarthy, you figure he can just run a system, but you wonder if he can get outside the pocket. Me personally, I'd rather have a quarterback that could run the system, and I had to then get him to improvise. So if I'm a Vikings fan, I'm optimistic about McCarthy. I think he looked good last year before he got hurt. So this year around, I expect him to have a solid season, but I find it interesting that they feel their next step is becoming championship worthy, because, I mean, they were 14-2, something like that, not too long ago. And you wondered, would you have had a better chance with somebody who's more experienced rather than a rookie quarterback? Maybe long-term this might help out, but if you're trying to win now, I feel like you should have maybe kept one of those veterans on the roster.
Well, Sam Darnold was an option. They talked with him in the offseason. He got a bigger deal to go to Seattle, and I think Minnesota looked at it and said, hey, we don't want the Atlanta situation, right, where you go guarantee a bunch of money to Kirk Cousins and say, hey, you know what, we're handing over the team to the first-round pick right now. And J.J. McCarthy was a first-round pick last year for the Minnesota Vikings, and they're giving him the opportunity full steam ahead with J.J. McCarthy. We'll talk about the quarterbacks making their debut this weekend, including the number 1 overall pick. But it wasn't just preseason football last night. It was also scrimmage for the University of New Mexico. What did they look like? Again, you have to really dive into it to understand who was playing and who wasn't playing. But wide receivers coach Colin Lockett, great story. He's played 4 years at San Diego State under Brady Hoke and Rocky Long. Talk with him coming up on the other side. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This message is brought to you by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep.
It's at the wide receiver position. From a few camp days I've been able to get out there and watch them. There's little things that jump out. Now there's opportunity. But right now, injuries. Unfortunately, dominating things for the Lobos on the perimeter. Down Keegan Johnson, Kadir Diop, Isaiah Blair did not play in their scrimmage yesterday afternoon. Who can step up? Well, their wide receiver coach, Colin Lockett, has the right attitude. He is driven, and he's going to push these players forward. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. A new coaching staff and a lot of new coaches that we're getting a chance to meet over the last couple weeks. And, of course, moving forward towards the start of the regular season, August 30th at Michigan. And Colin Lockett is a driven guy. Played 4 years at San Diego State, played for Brady Hoke and Rocky Long. Played defense, moved to offense. Tells that story much more. UNM wide receiver coach Colin Lockett.
Joined by Lobos wide receiver coach Colin Lockett. Spent 4 years at San Diego State. You balled out in the Mountain West Conference. What do you remember most about some of those battles?
They weren't easy. There were a lot of opponents we played that, you're seeing those guys play on Sundays. I mean, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Kellen Moore is the head coach now. So a lot of people slept on the Mountain West for a really long time until, obviously Boise State, they brought the blue turf to the Mountain West, and they did their thing on that. But we did our own thing as well at San Diego State. But every battle we had with every Mountain West team, whether we were, going against the Air Force or going against Fresno State all the way down to, Colorado State. I have memories for every one of those opponents, but it was always great games and great competition throughout.
Did you play for Hoke and Rocky Long?
Yes.
At San Diego State. What did you take from both those guys?
I think from Coach Hoke, the way that he approached us was like, you just wanted to make sure that you were always, treating one another with respect. He was big on the camaraderie and just making sure there was always a brotherhood, in the locker room, on the field, and in the community. And just play as hard as you can, throughout the game and always stay in the game. with Rocky, he was the one that recruited me out of high school, so he gave me my one and only scholarship, very similar to Brian Urlacher that he recruited here. But with Rocky, it was like, you know, there's only one way to play this game, and it's physical and it's full speed. You know, and he would always let us know, as long as you run to the ball and run the ball, you always had a chance to win. And that was just kind of his mantra that he stood on. Is probably still standing on that till this day.
Yeah, Brian Urlacher, Rocky Long, of course, they have a history here at University of New Mexico. And you mentioned that just toughness mentality. And as a wide receiver, how did you embrace that in your game and what you needed to do on the field?
Well, I started out as a defensive back. I started out as a corner for a year, and then Coach Long actually, coached me myself when he moved me to safety, because he was the safeties coach at the time as well as the defensive coordinator. So I just kind of took the same mindset that Coach Long instilled in us as a defense. And I just took it to the offense, and I thought, you know, for a long time, like, you had to be, you know, a receiver that had to do everything great, but mainly you just had to do everything harder than the DB that was standing across from you. So whenever I went out there and I had an opportunity to block, I was trying to block and make sure that my man wouldn't make the tackle. And then it was time for us to catch a ball and run a route. You know, I was just trying to make sure that I did that for my teammate in terms of whatever it took for us to win. And, you know, we had really good running backs at San Diego State. So I just tried my best to make sure that those dudes could run all day.
Well, you still had the opportunity to pursue your dream in the Cincinnati, Washington CFL. What did you take just from all those moments, not just on the field, but stuff you used off the field?
I think most and foremost is just you gotta be a sponge in any and every way. You know, whether it's with the starting receiver, whether it's the starting running back, or the OC, or the trainers, right? I think as much as you can be a sponge in the National Football League is the best way to gain as many tools and experience as you can gain, because, you know, they do that as their craft, and that's a day-to-day basis. It's a real business. So if I can be a sponge in any way possible, I was going to try to do that, and I learned from a lot of really good coaches, players, and also you know, just athletic trainers and whatnot that, you know, were able to help me get through some of my small injuries that I had in the NFL.
So you really did take a traditional route of climbing that ladder. You coached in high school football, GA route, some big programs. And what, especially those years, like when you first got into coaching in high school, what did you take from that, and like the grind? What motivated you to keep pursuing it?
Well, I was not really wanting to be a football coach at first. When I got out, my goal was I wanted to be a personal trainer and then eventually open up my own facility, and, you know, kind of have my select athletes that I would, you know, obviously coach and mentor, you know, on their way to college. But it kind of fell in my lap, and I had the opportunity to be at St. John Bosco for 3 years. And I think the biggest thing was, you know, just being able to take away that, you know, coaching is coaching no matter what level it's at. Football is football. But when I was able to, you know, obviously get into college, you know, to kind of start out back at my alma mater, and then moving on to Washington and Oregon and UC Davis, and now here, I think was just my drive to want to be the best head coach in the future, because that's my goal. I want to be a head coach, and then you know, most importantly, I want to be, you know, one of one. And when I say one of one, there's never been an African American head coach to win a Division I national championship, and that's what's been my driving force from the minute that I became, you know, a coach. And also, just most importantly, I wanted every player that I'm able to get my hands on to be able to do everything that I did and more than that. So my thing is, you know, I want my own goals, but their goals come first, and then mine come after that.
Lobos wide receiver coach Colin Lockett. I mentioned UC Davis. It's where you're at last season. You saw a lot of these players on the field at the FCS level. What's the transition like from FCS to D1 for these guys?
Again, football's still the same. Doesn't really matter. Football is football. But I think just obviously the facilities and everything else are a little bit bigger, but I think football is football, and the transition is just, you know, just making sure you have the correct mindset every single day. And I don't really think that the conferences mean anything, because at the end of the day, you know, you still got to line it up, and you still got to play football, and you still got to tackle, you still got to score. So I think the biggest thing is just understanding, like, we're at the Division I level now, but, you know, the FCS teams that I had to go against last year, and even the ones that, you know, some of the Mountain West schools went against last year, you know, those guys, they got a small taste of what the FCS is like, especially in the, you know, the Big Sky Conference.
We saw one win on this football field.
Exactly. So it's it's not as much of a transition as you may think. At the end of the day, it's still football. We're just playing it in a different state on a different, set of land.
This wide receiver room, what do you expect to see from these guys this season?
I expect for these guys to play hard, be smart football players, knowing their assignments, obviously knowing the game and situational awareness. And then I want to see these guys make contested catches, break tackles, and find ways to separate and get open, because we got a really good running back core. Most teams are going to probably try to stop them first, and if they can find a way to kind of limit our run game, it's going to come down to us as wideouts to make the play. So I think it's just important for us to be able to, know our alignment, know our assignment, and how we're going to get open. And then when we get the opportunity to make the play, whether it's on the ground or in the air, we make that play for the team.
Lastly for you, Coach, you said you played in the Mountain West Conference. You've seen a lot of teams come and go through the Mountain West. It's kind of the last hurrah of the Mountain West as we know it. Is it just weird the fact you've played in it, you played these teams that might not see some of these squads for a while on the schedule?
I think it's not as weird to me, because when I was at Oregon, I was a part of the last era of the Pac-12. So for this to be the last era of the Mountain West, it isn't as big for me. It's a little bit more big just for me from a playing perspective, because when we started out in 2009 or 10, I think that was kind of maybe the first or second year of the Mountain West or so. But it's bittersweet, but, with the way conferences are changing and new realignment, who knows who we might be playing, 4 years from now. So at the end of the day, line it up, let's play some football. No matter who it is, no matter where it is, we got to go play and we got to win a football game.
Next.
One of the greatest lines of all time. Football is football. Plain and simple. Play hard, run to the football. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. Got to get it done. Appreciate the time there from UNM wide receiver coach Colin Lockett. But a lot of the basics that you'd expect. But his motivation, I thought was really interesting. We were talking, opening up that he wants to be a head coach, why he wanted to be a head coach, and you look at his room right now, a lot of opportunity. So what happened in yesterday's scrimmage? We'll break it down. Notes from Sean Ryder, who has all the nuggets you need to know from the Lobo scrimmage yesterday. Hit that next. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Company, 701 Central Avenue Northwest. You can check out sportsanimal.com for more details, but the birthday bash is back Saturday, August 23rd, 12 to 4, Ex Novo Brewing. 31 of these suckers. And what a run it's been for the sports animal. JJ Buck, Zay Johnson with you, Adrian holding it down on ProView Networks. Of course, ProView crew, they're not doing any high school football games. But when are you not doing high school games on ProView at this time of year? I'd love to see those guys out there as well. I'd have a bunch of invites out. But again, it's for the listeners, man. We appreciate you tuning in, hanging out with us. That's why we get a chance to talk sports each and every single day. It's because of what you guys do on a daily basis, hanging out with us. So we want to see you Saturday, August 23rd at Ex Novo Brewing, 12 to 4 p.m. Lobo scrimmage yesterday, Sean Ryder out there breaking it all down. Camp notes from him, and there was just one touchdown scored. But this is the challenge, because Jason Eck has said this week there's certain dudes that are not going to play, and it was Scott Trey Humphrey. It was Jack Lane. And you saw the defense fly around, make a ton of stops. Linebackers look good. Defensive line look good. And you're like, okay, that's the challenge, though. It was step up. And the offense struggled yesterday. It was a day dominated by the defense. And Cole Welliver had himself some decent drives. You look at completed 5 of 6 passes. With the second team offense, I think one of the things that stands out was Luke Dreswicki hitting a 54-yard field goal. And consistency from the kicking game would be huge, because Dreswicki, he has the leg, but there's been moments where he hasn't been able to hit back-to-back field goals. And if he is locked in and healthy, that's going to be a good weapon for the Lobos this season when you look at what they want to do offensively, to really control the football, win at the line of scrimmage, open things up downfield, and the play action in that read game for their quarterbacks. But yesterday it was dominated by the defense, and you look at guys that stood out, and it's players that you'd expect. James Newby forced a big-time stop. Linebackers, well, they look good, right? Demetri Johnson, Abe Williams made some plays in red zone situation. And, yes, we've talked a ton about the wide receivers this week. Just had Colin Lockett on, the wide receivers coach, and they were down 3 dudes. Keegan Johnson, Kadir Diop, and Isaiah Blair. Guys that could potentially be like your starting wide receiver group. And when Scottrade Humphrey and Damian Bankston, top 2 running backs, are on a pitch count, it's going to be tough for the offense in the scrimmage. So they only scored 1 touchdown. But the one unit that has really stood out to me the most, and I'm cautiously optimistic because we've been here before, but does look better than past seasons, is that front 7. I do think that there's multiple guys that contribute at the linebacker position. When you look at Jackson Eck, Johnson, K'Wan McCray is the guy, Jacksonville State transfer, that's popped some. So all of a sudden, you have options there. Defensive line and moving Gabe Lopez inside. James Newby, Xavier Slayton, bigger guys off the edge. I like the front 7. And I think that, that is an area where this team can be pretty good. And if you're solid both ways in the trenches, that is what the Lobos are going to need to do this season. Lean on that offensive line. And defensively, man, if you can create a little bit of havoc, you can force some turnovers, take a step forward, because that's been something that's been missing for quite some time in this Lobos defense, is just having some playmakers and opportunities then in the secondary to make some plays and just not be stuck out there with no pressure on the opposing quarterback. The game has changed. It's so much faster with the quick decisions from these quarterbacks, the multiple offenses that you face, whether it's in the screen game, the RPO game. But if that front 7 can be covering plenty of space in their boxes, can be getting to the opposing quarterback, can be shutting down the run, man, those are the foundational things for Lobo football this season. But it's been about the defense. Multiple days was all about the defense yesterday afternoon in the scrimmage. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning, breaking down what matters from the scrimmages, from the preseason action. So Anthony Richardson last night go 2 for 3 for 21 yards, then take a hit. Did not see it coming from the right side. Dislocates his pinky, but it's a competition that's been open. And the Colts have been talking about it. Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. We're going to get to see the number 1 pick in the draft, Cam Ward, with his debut Saturday. So tomorrow they're going to be taking on the Buccaneers, and Cam Ward is going to get a chance to play in all preseason games. Coach Brian Callahan doesn't want to expose Cam Ward to too many injuries, but it's experience at this moment in time. You got to get these young guys on the field. I'm interested, too, to see what Jackson Dart looks like, because there are 2 veterans in front of him. Russell Wilson is locked in as a QB1 to start the season, but the Giants traded back up in the first round to take Dart out of Ole Miss. But then you also have Jameis Winston there, and that's a fascinating quarterback room. We talk about veterans and experience and what can these young guys, take when they're just in practice, when they're watching how things work. And it doesn't get more different than Russell Wilson versus Jameis Winston. And Russell Wilson, and you're just trying to be dangerous. Jameis Winston eating those W's. And then, Jackson Dart from Ole Miss in there. And the confidence, I like it from Dart. And he's talking about the lights are not going to be too bright. He said, quote, "At the end of the day, it's the same game you were playing when you were a kid, so just enjoy it. And there's no light that's too bright to play in." And the bright lights that the New York Giants hoping to find their quarterback of the future. Can Jackson Dart do enough to where maybe he's Russell Wilson? And what do I mean by that? Well, Russell Wilson was not a first-round draft pick, but what Russell Wilson did was show out in the preseason and then win the job in Seattle. This doesn't do the paid Matt Flynn, because Matt Flynn had a couple games where he just popped off, and Seattle paid him a bunch of money, and they're like, well, this rookie quarterback is a lot better. Now, Dart, they invested a lot more draft capital in him. Just a higher ceiling, at least initially, coming in. So can Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson? Something to watch for this weekend. A lot of young quarterbacks taking the field, and you just want to see consistency. You want to see command of the offense. And speaking of young quarterbacks, the development at the position, has it changed, or is it going back to the way it used to be? Michael Lombardi was an NFL executive for over 30 years, won 3 Super Bowl championships, been with some of the best coaches in the NFL. His new book, Football Done Right, is out now, and we will talk with him about the evolution of the game of football, working with Bill Belichick, working with some of the greatest coaches in the game, and his quarterback development going back to the way it used to be in the NFL. We hit that next. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to...
And the Sports Animal, your home for the NFL, the Super Bowl, the NCAA Tournament, and the Final Four. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, to understand the future, it is good to look back in the past, to know the history of the game. And as the NFL evolves, as player evolved, how did we get to this point? Michael Lombardi was an NFL executive for 30 years, 3 Super Bowl championships. Worked with Al Davis, worked with Bill Belichick. He's seen it all. And he's currently the general manager of the North Carolina Tar Heels. So he's built a team in the NFL. He's working on building a team in college football. And his book, Football Done Right, breaks down the history of the game as he gives his top 10 coaches, his top 100 players. But his insight into NFL development, into building franchises, is really fascinating. And we had the opportunity to speak with Michael Lombardi, and we discussed the quarterback process. Are teams changing the way they look at it, or are they going back to maybe some of the old school mentality at the quarterback position? What it's like trying to manage coaching and or playing for Jerry Jones when he is GM, owner, all the above with the Dallas Cowboys. But the book is Football Done Right. And the writing process for Michael Lombardi started as a scout, which then got him interested in describing things through words.
Well, when you started out in the NFL, as I started out in the NFL, we were working on 16 millimeter tape. So when you scouted and you went to Albuquerque and went to the University of New Mexico, basically you got in the office there, and hopefully they would let you look at the tape because there wasn't a lot of tape around. It was expensive to duplicate 16 millimeter tape. So the job of a scout required that you write a description of the player as if the person who was reading the report would never see them. So you learn how to write in a descriptive way, just writing reports, which was great for me, and I like to write. So, I knew that I was fortunate enough to have worked for 3 of the greatest coaches in the history, or the people in the league, and Al Davis, Bill Belichick, and Bill Walsh. I'm the only person who went to the Super Bowl with all 3 of them. So I knew I had a story to tell, and I wanted to be able to tell it in the right way, which is why I wrote Gridiron Genius. And then this book, to me, was more about trying to help people who been overlooked. Clark Shaughnessy invented the forward pass. He can't get in the Hall of Fame. Marty Schottenheimer's won 200 games in his NFL career. Only 9 people, including Marty, have done that, and yet he can't get a sniff to get in. So I thought there was some injustice.
Now, you mentioned writing reports and the work you had to do. So take me back to 1981, recruiting coordinator at UNLV. And what was that time like for you, and how did that propel you forward?
Well, I mean, I didn't know a damn thing. I mean, obviously, I was a complete blank tape. I was just fortunate enough that Harvey Hyde, the head coach at UNLV at the time, took a chance on me and let me come in and basically gave me Burger King coupons and a place to sleep so I could sleep and eat. But it was great, and then I was able to work for 3 years there, and scouts came in, and I got the most incredible day of my life is I got offered to be Bill Walsh's gopher, and that's how really my career got started. I basically drove Coach Walsh around whenever he needed to go somewhere, and I got to sit in the car and listen to him tell me things that that if I asked him a question or I could overhear him blurting things out. So it was like a blessing to me to learn the game from one of the greatest mentors you could ever possibly have.
You're discussing some of the biggest figures in NFL history, and we see one still going right now. And Jerry Jones, Michael Parsons, the standoff. What has Jerry Jones meant to the NFL, and what do you think of the way that he's ran his franchise and how he handles things as GM Jerry?
Well, I mean, look, GM Jerry it's when the owner's the GM. I mean, there's really not a whole lot that he runs the team. It's a challenging job for the owner to be the GM because the GM has to say yes or no, and the players have to think they work for the coach. I worked for Al Davis, who owned the team and was the general manager, and it's difficult for the head coach more than it is for the GM. It's difficult for the head coach because the players have to think they work for him. And when the head coach doesn't work, when the head coach doesn't have that command, it becomes a little bit more of a challenge. I think Jimmy, when he was there, clearly everybody knew they worked for Jimmy. But since Jimmy's left, and including when Switzer took over, that hasn't necessarily been the case. I mean, look, the Cowboys are an incredible franchise. But, for them not to be able to get to the level that they've wanted since, the last Super Bowl 94 has to be disappointing to the whole family.
Michael Lombardi joining us, his book, Football Done Right. You look at the coaches in the book, you talk about the top 10. Well, number 7 is the guy that laid the foundation for the Cowboys, Tom Landry. And, looking back on it, reading it, and I'm like, wait, 20 consecutive winning seasons? One, like, how do you do that? But when you were looking at the coaches that were most impactful that you wanted to write about, what stood out with a lot of those guys and someone like Tom Landry?
Well, that's always a hard list, but what stood out is consistency, right? It's the ability to keep winning and compete for championships. We have such a preoccupation about who won the Super Bowl, where, I think really the measure of excellence is who gets to the conference championship game, what 4 teams get there. And you need to win a Super Bowl. There's no question. I've been fortunate enough to win 3 of them, and 2 of them were kind of very lucky. I mean, Malcolm Butler makes a play on a 1-yard line, and we come back from 28-3 to win a game. So, it could go either way here. I could be a 1-time Super Bowl champion, not a 3-time. And it went the right way. But I think that being in the conference championship game is really that hurdle is incredibly hard. And these coaches that I put in the list have been able to do that on Tom Landry's consistency. Now here's the thing that you have to take into account is that he's been able to do it. And no, there was no salary cap and all that, so they were able to keep players. But I think at the end of the day, I looked at the list and what they did to advance the game in terms of their technology and their ability to help what side of the ball they were on. I mean, Landry coached offense and defense.
Okay, Michael, so I got a quick question. So, amongst all these great coaches, I'm always big, I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm always sitting here beating the table about discipline. Amongst, like, the all-time great coaches, what have you noticed, or if anything, is apparent in all of them when it comes to demanding respect from their players? Is it more so like they demand it verbally? Is it, just kind of like a feeling when they walk into a room? What is it amongst all these coaches that kind of allowed them to have command over their teams?
Intellectual capacity. I mean, Bill Belichick rarely raises his voice. Bill Walsh rarely raised his voice. It's what can you do to make the players better? When you show the players you have incredible knowledge of the game and you put them in a position where they look their best, you will command respect when you walk in the room. I tell my 2 sons who both work, one works in the NFL, the other one works here at North Carolina with me. I tell them all the time, players will listen to you if you can make them better. That's the goal. And as a coach, as a head coach, you've got to make everybody better. You've got to be able to be in command of everything, know what's going on, be able to have a solution, be able to understand the difference between doing things right and doing the right thing. Leaders do things right. Leaders do the right thing. Managers do things right. And I think that's what separates them. And I wrote a whole book on that if you read Gridiron Genius. And it was prompted by my project that I did for the Rams. And it really led me down a leadership road that I'm very thankful for.
Joined by Michael Lombardi, his book is Football Done Right. It's a read that will enlighten even the biggest NFL fan. And you mentioned your role now with the Tar Heels. So what's harder to handle, an NFL offseason or a college football offseason now that you got the portal, revenue sharing, and NIL?
Well, I think the college is way more sporadic. There's no collective bargaining agreement. There's no rules, and your team's changing constantly. I think it's way more difficult now than it was than in the NFL, where you have a little bit more structure. And then, of course, you had June. The month of June is a recruiting month, which is really, really, it keeps you busy, it keeps you on your toes, and it becomes very challenging to do it. So, yeah, I think the college, it's just way more things that are going on. There's just a lot more. You're dealing with the 26 recruiting class, the 27 recruiting class, and then your competition does X, Y, or Z. So it's a little harder.
Now, would you like to see college athletics go to more of an NFL model with the way players are treated? What do you think the future holds for college football?
Well, I would hope that we could find, since they're getting paid, I hope there's some way that there's a way to where they could collectively bargain to get some kind of uniformity amongst the schools so that everybody understands the rules. And I think that's been the hardest part is when there is kind of no rules, everybody has different interpretations, so it becomes a little bit different.
And one of the things that I'm really excited to ask you about is the development at the quarterback position. It's been different throughout the history of the game. And last year's class, it really looked like teams were not just looking for, all right, can you come in and have a high ceiling, but can you come in with a solid floor? And you look at Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, guys that played a lot of college football, being able to come in. Are you seeing a different way teams are looking at these rookie quarterbacks, actually looking for experience as opposed to maybe just a young guy that you can develop for a longer period of time?
Well, I mean, look, you got to have experience and you got to have success. I mean, those are the hard things. I think when Jaden Daniels would transfer, he went to LSU, he became a better player, you know, and I think that's important. I think, look, the one thing that you can't do is it's hard to get reps, right? You need reps. In college, you need more. The more you play, the better off you are. And I think ultimately that's kind of that's where, you know, experience matters. I mean, Bill Parcells would often talk about he wanted to draft a quarterback who had 37 starts in college, because that's 3 years is basically being a starter.
Michael Lombardi with us, just a couple more minutes. You know, flipping through this book, what I love to do too with the players, just open it up and read about one, and you can go through so many of the guys that you've discussed. But if you're, you know, talking to that new era fan, that young kid that's just getting into the game of football, if you had to pick one of those players to tell them about, who would it be?
Ronnie Lott. I think, you know, Ronnie Lott is one of the great players of all time. He's in my top 10. You know, he played safety at a day where he played corner, then he played safety, and he dominated both positions. He was an incredible teammate. He was the instrument that drove the 49er machine. He allowed their toughness and the character of the team to really shine through. I think people need to know about Ronnie and how great of a player he was. The great Joe Montana, I was fortunate enough to watch him, be around him. But I think today's game, because you know, people understand the safety position was so unique back then when Ronnie played, because of the physicality and the intimidation that it created in the middle of the field, that, you know, I think we've lost sight of a little bit of that. And look, I think it's really important to honor some of the great players. A lot of these people, I work with a bunch of young people, and when I say a name and we're watching a tape, I mention a player's name, I said, well, I know you guys don't know that guy. You know, I have to educate them on him. It's kind of challenging.
Michael Lombardi, Football Done Right book is out now. Appreciate the conversation, especially diving into what makes the great ones tick. Really interesting, too, there at the end, you know, talking about, hey, you know what? This is the way that you looked at it when it came to evaluating college quarterbacks. It was, have you played? Have you been successful? Not just, oh, you're a young guy that could have a long ceiling, because we're seeing that play out now with Anthony Richardson. Yeah, he was young, super athletic, didn't play a lot of football, and he's struggling to get it done in the NFL. The NFL is not for long. They're not going to give you 3-4 years to develop at the quarterback position. You're lucky now if you get to year 3 as a highly drafted quarterback. You know, look at just Bryce Young and the challenges that he went through in the end of last season. And it was his second year. But if he didn't have that success down the stretch, if he didn't showcase in the final few games where he had 10 total touchdowns, no interceptions, Bryce Young could be in a quarterback battle right now. Yeah. As the number 1 overall pick, just 3 years into his career. But that's where we're at. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. Yeah, Anthony Richardson got injured, but the biggest injury occurred in camp for a team that wanted to lean into their offensive line, and how will it affect the outcome? Losing a franchise player on the offense. We'll tell you that next. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. SVFShowAugust.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Puts a tackle for as long as I've known about him playing football, so I think it won't be an issue for him at all to go back out there. The Chargers, I mean, Joe Alt's a direct Harbaugh guy. I mean, like, we knew as soon as he got drafted, we were like, yep, that's Harbaugh. And that's also not shocking because everyone knows the style of football he likes to play and that he wanted to play. So I think they'll be just fine. Hampton also, I think he'll have a great season too.
You know who Harbaugh is? He to me is a no bull guy.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Harbaughs are no bull.
I'm not fans of the Harbaughs.
I know he's not a fan of the Harbaugh, especially got Mr. Steeler over here, Eric Strauss in the house.
Yes. Yes.
Crashing the sports animal.
I can't stand the Harbaughs. Yeah, I just they're anyways. Well, the Ravens.
How about that?
I mean, literally, you would have to probably have a gun in the back of my head for me to sit down and watch a Ravens game. I just cannot stand their style of football. I just don't like them.
Oh, so. Winning in the regular season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't know why they anoint Lamar Jackson as the MVP every year, but check the resume. What has he done? I mean, he gets them to the playoffs. Great.
Yeah.
We get to the playoffs. So what?
With Russell Wilson ball people.
So what? Yeah. Who cares? I don't want to get to
postseason.
I almost don't want to
Legacies are made in the postseason.
I don't want to get to the playoffs. I just want to suck one season.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
Yeah, because then you're just in the middle of the pack all the time. Mm-hmm. It's anyways. So, no Bull Prime meats. Yeah. Why you suck me down that rabbit hole, man? Squirrel.
What do you think, Aaron? Yeah, how about Aaron Rodgers?
I'm excited. Just because I want to see him play.
Yeah.
And so it's probably the first time I'm going to try to go to 2 Steelers games.
Oh, okay.
I want to go in San Diego when they play the Chargers. I'm sorry, L.A. now. When they play the Chargers, I forget their name. That was one of the scariest games I ever been to, by the way. I went to a Chargers versus Oakland Raiders game.
Oh, yeah.
And I went with my son. And it was the only time I've ever been physically frightened at a football game.
Was it in Qualcomm in San Diego?
In San Diego. Yeah. And it was frightening. Like, there was 2 stabbings. I'm not kidding you. In the bathroom line, because my son had to go. Of course, he was little.
Yeah.
And, man, people were just getting into it. I'm like, dude, I'm going to have to fight my way out of here. Like, it was the only time I've ever – and I've worn Steelers gear in Denver. Remember, because they made the playoffs. They played Denver twice and lost twice. The Tebow game I was at, and that was fine. The Chargers Raiders, that was frightening. Anyways, sorry.
I think DC was at that Steelers game too.
Yeah. So what? I guess what's scarier, sports fans or people you deal with in the evening?
Oh no, sports fans. I mean, no. I love what I do in the evening, man. That's fun. And you get the vitriol on the text line but they don't call in. You know, they'll the thing that always bugs me, and this is in professional sports, you know, whatever entertainment genre you're in, it's when they start going after your family.
Oh,
that's always in politics, whatever. Leave the kids alone, attack the person, not the family. You know what I mean? That's when it gets, I think, really bad.
That's when you know someone's real hurt.
Yeah, because you don't go after somebody's family. They have nothing to do with what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And in politics, I hate when they drag family into conversations. And that, to me, is bad on both sides. So,
I understand that.
Yeah.
You know,
that's when I feel sorry for these professional athletes, like when Russ Wilson. But again, he posts the stupid video with him and his wife in bed at Denver or Seattle. We got a deal. Remember that one? And you're like, why did you think that? Who thought that was a good idea?
There's a reason you have PR people.
Exactly. Just put it. Hire somebody to keep you out of trouble. If I was a rookie and it was my kid going to the NFL, I'd hire a person. Say, here's $60,000 a year. My son doesn't make the headlines. Period. The end. Or daughter. Right? That's it.
It sounds simple.
Simple.
A lot of times,
it's not.
People can't get it done.
It's not. Remember that receiver for the Raiders? Gets in a DWI, kills somebody. You're
Henry
come
Ruggs.
on, ruins his whole. And that guy was legit. Anyways. Sorry.
I hear he's training. I hear he's in there training.
For the longest.
Knowing the NFL, he could get out and play. If you can play, they're going to start you somewhere.
You'll get second, third chances.
Yeah, if you're good.
You're good
that running back, his career was over. Remember, he beat his wife.
Ray Rice.
His career, if he was good, they would have brought him back. Yeah. Trust me. Anyways, sorry.
Sorry. No, So you don't
know
need
I love
60.
talking sports
I know.
with you.
That's why I like having you in here. It's jolt of energy. You don't need $60,000 to feel good. You just need $30 a day.
Yes, for No Bull Prime Meats. It's I don't know if anybody's ever stopped by No Bull Prime Meats. It's meticulous, and when I say meticulous, there's not a leaf on the ground. And Brett and I have worked together for a decade now, and he made me go to his ranches in Estancia before he signed any deal. He goes, look, you want an endorsement, you want this, come out to the ranches. The ranches are the cleanest ranches I've ever been to. I've been to a lot of ranches. I did the cattle on a horseback, and he's meticulous, and it shows in every bite of his beef. He's got Japanese Wagyu A3, and it's all natural. It's raised right here in Estancia, Wagyu. And he purchased like $10,000 worth of Wagyu semen to breed Wagyu. I'm not kidding you. This guy is over the top. Every detail matters with this guy. And it's prime beef, all natural, raised in Estancia. And he's got a whole meat processing plant where he ages it. And he made me go into this. Jeff Berry and I had to put on the masks and everything, and like you're going into Jurassic Park or something, right? With the scientists or whatever. And so we go in there. He's got an aging room, and it's 60 days. Everything's dry age. He's got I think a $30,000, and it's more than that, $100,000 smoker. The things he does is just he stresses me out, and I work hard. It's amazing, the beef. No antibiotics, steroids, or vaccines. Clean meat. 8 different discounts. So if you're military, whatever, he's got a discount for you. Free statewide delivery, nationwide shipping, and he's got dog food too.
And he's got dog food.
That natural dog food. Yep, he's got that too. So
he's got your whole family covered.
$60, $30 for $60 worth of gift cards for on the sweet deal with No Bull Prime Meats.
Strauss, did you write up that commercial log for his? You got probably the best commercial.
No, I cannot take credit. That is pure Savage. And when Savage, we haven't changed it. I'm like, Randy, that's the best ever. Just leave it. Don't change a word on that thing. It's so good. I like meat on meat sandwich with my meat taco and the meat. It's great.
I'm sure he'll oblige.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll oblige. Yeah, Randy, that's pure Randy. That guy is so talented, dude. I love that guy.
He's a monster.
And he's bailed me out of a lot of holes with like recording commercials and stuff. He's so helpful. Anyways.
Yeah. No Bull Prime Meat.
Yeah.
Sweet deal today goes live 9 a.m. SportsAnimalABQ.com. $30 gets you $60 to spend, and you got your whole family covered.
Everybody. And it's it's one of those splurge for dad, splurge for anniversary. It's phenomenal. It's something that once you try it, you'll be like, nothing else will compare. It's that good. So it is.
Beef.
That's
what's for dinner.
Meat. Yep. Thanks for having me on, man.
Eric Strauss, everybody.
Sorry to blah, blah, blah.
No,
you get me all fired up. I love
I'm good
sports.
at that. I can press a button and let someone go and just get out of the way.
Yeah. Don't do that with me, dude.
I know. It's going to take over. We don't have to work the rest of the morning now.
Say thanks for having me on, man.
Yes, sir.
You guys do great work. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
We'll come back on the other side. We're talking golf with Ben Gashbert. San Diego Golf will join us on the Sports Animal.
Do you know your number? No, not your credit score number, not your sleep number bed, but your retirement number.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore, just like right.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Climatic, playoffs and sports maybe at the moment. It's fun, it's cool, but it's hard when you have kind of the full year points race and then have to kind of implement it into this playoff format because golf is such a long year-round sport, and it'd be hard to kind of reset like you would do in a traditional kind of playoff. And then Scotty has one bad week, and all of a sudden he's out of the first playoff event after dominating all year. So I get it kind of from both sides, but I do think that you can have some sort of a way where, like you said, you got to finish inside the top 50 or make the points worth a little bit more, or penalizing a little bit, like the fact that Rory can just not play this week and he's going to be in 4th or 5th probably in the FedEx Cup going into the next week, and not really in any different situation than he would be if he would have played this week, unless he maybe he goes and wins or something like that.
Yeah, I think that golf has been open to changing some things, and I think that they're in a really good spot right now overall. But this should still be a moment for them to dominate, to capitalize. You got your best players playing before football really takes over. And like you were just saying, Roy McIlroy, the number 2 player in the world, major champion this year, can be like, it's just too much golf for me. I'm just going to skip this one and be ready for the next one. Yeah,
imagine, Mahomes was, in the wild card round, it was like, I'm good. I'm going to give it to the backup this week, and I'll be there next week. It's a little tough to see that happen. I think you could maybe do like a bye thing, have the top 30 at the end of the year. They get a bye. They don't have to play the first week, and then maybe you can have a couple extra guys, a little bit more guys get into the playoffs, have the top 100 and have 31 to 100 play, and the top 20 or the top 30 from that advance to the second week, or, something different. Because they obviously know they don't have it figured out. They change it every year with the scoring and with this, and they subtracted players, they added players. So it's definitely a working process, but I mean, it's still fun golf, and it'll be drama filled even this week with a lot of those some big name guys, Jordan Spieth, some other guys that are right there on that 50 bubble, and it's still fun, like you said, last couple of weeks before kind of football and some other sports kind of kick in. So definitely trying to enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I still enjoy it because you're getting the best of the best in the moment. I think adding a little bit of that energy. And I loved your idea that you threw out there. All right, say, we'll grant, the top 25, top 30 players will give you this bye because you had a great season, but then open it up. Say, all right, you finish, a top 30 this week. Guess what? You get to advance. And, little things like that draw huge interest because you bring up that wild card round. Yeah, you could have a 14-win team, great regular season, lose in the postseason. You're one and done, but that's, the part of sport that people love.
100%. I think that golf hasn't really figured that out yet. They kind of have a little bit too much, weight on the regular season, just because that's where you have your majors, you have your big events. The playoffs doesn't have quite that draw, so it's kind of hard to kind of force that, I think. But I think that something like that would definitely, make it matter a lot more to these guys if you were to, like you said, all right, you don't play well this week, you're done. It kind of, you can't lean on, winning the Waste Management Open back in February. You gotta play good now.
Ben Gasparich, Sandy Golf, joining us. When it comes to the Ryder Cup, what are you looking forward to? The makeup of the teams and the kind of competition we're going to see.
Yeah, obviously it's probably one of the greatest, best events in golf, aside from the majors, and I think you get that juice and that feel with it being, kind of every other year, and it obviously the rivalry that's kind of came to be in the last, maybe 4 or 5 last Ryder Cups with how competitive it's been, and then obviously being, rooting for Team USA and them kind of getting, feel not, snub, but probably having the best team on paper probably the last 3 or 4 years, only winning one of them. But I think it's a great event. Being in New York at Bethpage, I think this year, team-wise, I think it's pretty even down the board. I think you have some new blood on the American side, which is good. I think that's something that they've kind of struggled with the last 3 or 4 years of playing it, and you get some of these guys that are just kind of getting there off of merit and off of kind of past stuff instead of the best 12 guys at that time playing, and I think that they've kind of realized that. So seeing some of these new guys play, see how they kind of handle it, but it is just the atmosphere, the energy that golf tournament brings, and it being in New York, which is a great golf state, and being at a course like Bethpage that everybody knows, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Right around the corner here, a little over a month away, I think, right?
Yeah, so a lot of fun golf to watch, and still plenty of time to get out there and play. Yeah, it's warm, but it's an opportunity to hit the golf course, and you guys are always doing your best. It's looking great at Sandia. Of course, all the things you got going on, from the kids all the way up to everyone just playing on a daily basis. How can you help us get a little bit better today?
Yeah, a good tip. I see a lot of players kind of coming over the top, and that's a pretty common thing with a lot of amateur golfers. And so something to kind of feel for all, right-handed golfers is when you get to the top of that backswing is really feel like that right hand is almost holding a dinner plate or holding something. As soon as that hand gets a little bit tilted forward, that's kind of that motion of going over the top and getting that kind of left to right or right to left swing, cutting across that ball, causing kind of that slice that you see pretty common out there. So really feeling like when you get to the top of that swing, that hand is, pointing to the sky, and you're holding almost like a dinner plate or something like that to really keep that club on plane and kind of coming from more on the inside, swinging a little bit out to the kind of right field to get a little bit of that draw instead of having that big slice, taking power off of it and accuracy off of it, something that I think people could really benefit from for sure.
Yes, a lot of us could benefit from that, something that I'm always working on. I got one of the Slice for Days shots, so listening to all the input that you guys give us every Friday is much appreciated. And like I said, there's still a lot going on, and you guys are still popping weekends, days. What do you got going on out there at San Diego Golf Club?
Yeah, you talked about we're kind of finishing up our Cubs classes. We got this week and probably one more at school getting back into session. So if you're trying to have the kiddos come out on Sunday mornings, give us a call Wednesday mornings in the golf shop. We'll get you guys set up for that. And then, a concert out here at Sandia tonight, so the patio will be popping, hanging out, and then the big concert I know tonight and tomorrow at the Balloon Fiesta Park. So stop by here at the grill and have a drink on the patio before you go enjoy your weekend plans.
Well, Ben, you enjoy your weekend, man. We appreciate the time. We'll talk to you later.
You guys, too. Have a good one.
Ben Gasparich, head pro at San Diego Golf, joining us this morning on the opening drive. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. And something got everyone's attention yesterday at Cowboys camp was something or nothing. It's the opening drive right here on the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action all your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
The Mountain West teams that are leaving are talking a big game, but the reality is, outside of Boise State, yeah, UNLV's got some hype. They ain't that much better than anyone else. And it's kind of smacking everyone in the face. Yeah, you get to go play in the Pac-12. Fantastic. You don't have to play Wyoming or New Mexico. But coming into this season, outside of Boise State, UNLV's got the hype train. But the rest of the Mountain West Conference, you don't have a lot to hang your hat on. The only thing you're screaming is, yeah, we get to go be in the Pac-12. Well, Oregon State and Washington State aren't flying that high. CBS Sports and ESPN preseason rankings are out. And they did it for every school. But it puts some stuff in perspective. That when you have these fan bases all high and mighty, saying, yeah, that's what's up. Mountain West is awful. It's been holding us back forever. Give us all our money. We don't need to pay our exit fees. Get us out of here. Mountain West is awful. Well, what have you done for me lately, man? Some of these rankings that we're going to discuss. There's a CBS Sports staff that ranked all 136 SVF teams. ESPN did a story just tearing college football programs, but it puts it in perspective. Like, these fan bases are all high and mighty. Your football teams are absolutely riding the coattail of Boise State into the pack, thinking that your bleep don't stink. And you need to wake up, because it's a name. That is all that is saving you right now. It's not the programs you're joining. It's the name, the Pac-12. And it's one school that is worthy of it right now, and it's Boise State. And everyone else is just riding their coattails, looking down, saying, ha-ha, get out of here. We don't need to go to Laramie. We don't need to go to Albuquerque. San Jose State, aha, bleep off. Maybe look into Mare, because there's a whole lot of pot meat kettle with the reality of where some of these teams are this season in the college football landscape. But yet you just get to say you're in the Pac-12 and you think you're the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, and how about another lawsuit? And this happened yesterday. The legal fight continues with realignment, the Mountain West Conference, Pac-12, and 3 of the departing schools updated a lawsuit, Boise State, Colorado State, and Utah State, accusing the Mountain West of withholding millions of dollars of funds from them, playoff funds being withheld, and also upset that the Mountain West forced Grand Canyon into the league as a member this season. Cry me a river. But this is supposed to be all about football. And reality is going to hit some of these schools in the face. That a conference banner isn't going to save you. We'll break it down next. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yellow Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yellow Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services.
And AM 610 KNML, the sports animal. Now is the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Zimbietta and JJ Buck.
You put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. You take Mountain West teams and put them in the Pac-12, it's still the Mountain West Conference. The reality is we've seen the Mountain West do some fantastic things for programs. The Mountain West has evolved. There was a time Utah, BYU, TCU were balling in the Mountain West, and then they moved on, and the Mountain West had to adapt. Then all of a sudden the WAC was just kind of rebranded the Mountain West, and then the Mountain West rebrands itself as the Pac-12. There's a fallout. There's a trickle-down effect. The reality is, just because you get to say you're playing in Conference X doesn't make you that much better than everyone else. And talk to the nation, not just the fan bases. Take a step back, and let's talk about what college football people are saying. Let's talk about what college football reporters are saying. It's a little dose of reality for the schools leaving the Mountain West and those remaining in the Mountain West of the challenge that they have ahead when it comes to football. Boise State, you tip your cap. They've earned it. They are that school. But Colorado State, Utah State, Fresno State, they're riding coattails, man. And yet you want to sit there and scream and look down at everyone else and say, that's right, bleep off. We are so much better that we don't have to play. We're going to be so much better that we're out of the Mountain West Conference. The same conference that's given you this opportunity, the same conference that hasn't held Boise State back from getting in the college football playoff, but yet you get to go play with Oregon and Washington State and call yourself the Pac-12 and it's to be that much better. It's time for some reality, man. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. JJ Buck, St. Johnson with the Adrian holding it down on ProView Network. So the legal battle continues. And Colorado State, Boise State, and Utah State added a lawsuit yesterday amongst the many that they're throwing at the Mountain West Conference, accusing the conference of withholding tens of millions of dollars, including Boise State's college football playoff money, and misleading them about a covert plan to speed up the addition of Grand Canyon University as a member. So this was filed against the Mountain West by those three schools, updated yesterday. And the suit said the league and commissioner intentionally and fraudulently deprived the schools of their membership rights and caused millions of dollars in harm. Now, the school's complaint said travel reimbursements have been unpaid, as have NCAA payments for financial aid, academic programs, and athlete welfare. So, okay, there's probably some things that you need to get figured out. Like, you can't just ghost all these schools on the way out. They're still members of the Mountain West Conference, and you have to treat them as such until the end. But the Grand Canyon stuff, you got to get over that. The Mountain West had to protect themselves because you're coming after everything. You're saying, oh, the poaching fees, the exit fees, we don't really want to pay any of that. That's not fair. No, there's contracts that you sign. You were not being held in a room with a baseball bat. And when Washington State and Oregon State did their scheduling agreement, when you put in there poaching penalties to leave because you were looking over your shoulder going, oh, we're going to try to leave. But we've been through that. The reality is, those fan bases will talk a ton of smack. We'll look down on the remaining Mountain West schools and go, man, if you're only better, you could have been joining us too. Well, are you really that much better? Outside of Boise State, who's that dog? Who's that team that you're like, man, yeah, they deserve to be in a power conference? Well, let's look at what the nation thinks, right? Let's not get hyper-focused on the fan bases and what's going on in Logan or Laramie or here in Albuquerque. Let's just take a step back and look at what college football thinks of the Mountain West Conference right now. And we'll start with ESPN. And they didn't necessarily rank it 1 through 136, but they tiered it out. Right? So teams in similar areas, what are you doing? Of course, you go to last year's playoff surprises where you get Boise State. Now, Boise State was put in there with Arizona State, Indiana, SMU. And in Boise State, man, since they fired Andy Avalos, who got off to a 5-5 start, they've won 15 of 18 games. Spencer Danielson has come in, brought Boise State back to the level that they expect. And the 3 losses in the last 18 games have come to Power 4 foes. Like, Boise State's legit. They deserve it. They're the team. But let's go down. So that's Tier 4, okay? Tier 4. You got to go all the way down to Tier 10 in this story, where then they talk about UNLV. Who, by the way, Mountain West member, UNLV sticking around. Getting a little extra from the Mountain West Conference to be an anchor in the future. But UNLV is in a group with Liberty, Memphis, James Madison, Toledo, Tulane. As, a contender. Kind of dark horse group of 6 playoff contender moving forward. Then you get to Tier 13, and it's Air Force. And they call it the Stars and Stripes tier, where they credit the service academies for all the work they've done, without having NIL deals or being able to take transfers. Tier 15, teams with upside. They put 15 teams in there, and one of those teams is Fresno State. Then they just have a tier all by itself. It's Tier 16, folks. That's where Oregon State and Washington State are. The schools that are so good that everyone's flocking to play with. Then Tier 17. They name this tier. They're fine. They're solid, decent, okay. 10 teams, including the majority of the Mountain West Conference, is Colorado State, San Diego State, San Jose State, and Utah State. Tier 18, 8 squads, including Hawaii and Wyoming. Tier 19. And by the way, there's 20 tiers in this. So just kind of giving you a little bit of perspective of what we're talking about, looking at all these schools. Hey, they can give you some entertainment. It's Nevada, and then a good chunk of Conference USA. And then Tier 20. They call it participation trophies. That's where New Mexico State are right now.
Participation trophies is crazy.
Now let's back this up and say, what does CBS think in their writers, in their national ranking of college football teams going into this season? Boise State 34. They're a little down on Boise State as opposed to some other polls where Boise State sneaking into the top 25. UNLV is 58. Oregon State is 75. Colorado State 82. Washington State 83. Fresno State 84. Got San Jose State 91. Air Force 99. SDSU 103. Utah State 108. Hawaii 109. Wyoming 112. New Mexico 121. And New Mexico State 129. So I went through these tiers. I went through these rankings. Just put it in a little bit of perspective. Because going into this season, in the last year of the Mountain West as we know it, the Mountain West has been good for a lot of programs. This recent run over the Mountain West as constructed has been phenomenal for basketball. It's been fine for football. But to act like you are that much better than everyone else, it's hilarious. And just to see the way these fan bases are interacting on social media, to see the way Utah State fans are clapping back at everyone else. Colorado State, yes, you invested in football. You have a new stadium.
It reminds me...
But where are the wins?
It reminds me of, like, you got your friend group in, like, middle school, high school when this starts to happen. Right, you got your friend group, or it could be one best friend. And then all of a sudden, what you might deem as, like, the jocks or the popular kids, he might do one thing that makes him kind of like him, and they invite him to a party, but you're not invited. And then from that point on, he's acting like he's too good for you. And it's like, dude, come on.
Right, that is all those schools. Because they're buddies with Boise State, right? Because they're friends with that one cool kid.
It's like Mean Girls out
They
here.
think that they're that cool. They think, yeah, haha, we're going to go in the pack. Really? The pack? Which, this is a national perspective right now in college football. This isn't just these fan bases taking shots at each other. And this is why I wanted to talk about it. I thought this was a good reminder that sometimes it's about luck, man. And yes, you can point to investments in athletics, and that is fair at some of these schools. Colorado State built a brand new stadium. the money Utah State and Fresno State are putting in the football. That's understandable. But they're acting like they're that much better on the football field, and they haven't been.
Wow.
You're looking at teams 80 to 130. That's a chunk of the Mountain West Conference. And that's the battle we're having, right? That's the sticks and stones trying to break your bones when really you're standing at the same spot.
Sounds like a lot of just clout chasing going on.
100%.
You just want the image. You don't want the actual results.
And one of those teams is staying in the Mountain West Conference. It's UNLV.
They're treating this like kids do when you're talking about what school you want to go to. You know, like a junior college or something, and you're discussing what school you want to go to. And it's like, oh, I want to go to this school. Like, it's reasonable for them, I guess, to an extent. Although, but then the same principles apply. Football is still football. Either you're going to ball out, you're not going to ball out. It's what Urlacher was saying. You know, it doesn't matter where you are, they're going to find you. Now, what I will say, a little disclaimer is in there. This is a fact, but what I learned the hard way is that facilities, resources, coaches, weight coaches, nutrition plans, all that definitely matters because it's preparation, it's recovery, it's prepping you to be the best version of yourself. But no matter where you are, football is still going to be football, and whatever you might not be getting from a facility or a resource, you can still figure it out on your own if you're really dedicated.
Yeah, and if we're going to talk about just straight up facilities, Wyoming has that. They've put money into their stadium and their football facilities. Hawaii has a new football stadium on deck.
Nice.
That they're building right now.
Nice.
The Air Force Academy, that's solid. What they have for their athletes.
Oh, yeah.
San Jose State, now it redid their stadium. Now it's smaller capacity, but they're putting money into their product. So all these schools that are looked down upon, the one in there that is now trying to climb that ladder, that's been behind in the game, it's New Mexico when it comes to the investment. But Fernando Lobo is a football dude, and he's not ignoring the rest of the sports by going in on football, but he's understanding the big picture in this.
Did you say San Diego made their stadium smaller?
Well, San Jose State.
Oh, San Jose. They made it. Is that like a regular thing? To like, what's the benefits of shrinking the amount of seats?
It's just the reality, man.
Wow.
But
oh, wow.
Yeah, you know,
like, yeah, we got too many seats in here. We need to
but
build
it's
a
an
smaller
investment. They redid their stadium, right?
Okay, it's nicer.
While it's, you know, they took out a side, and I think at one point it was almost just like berm seating on one side, but you know, they added to it the environment.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's investment, which is, you know, into the stadium, and then trickles down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of these other schools were screaming, was you're just not that good. You just don't care. Well, that's not really the case. You guys just got lucky, and you're riding the coattails of Boise State into a Pac-12, which, oh, by the way, Oregon State and Washington State, as you would expect, have taken a big hit since everyone else left. Corvallis and Pullman are not paradises. You know, Washington State or Oregon State were just teams that got a little bit lucky, and you need luck in life with whatever you're doing, right? Right place, right time, but then you got to respond to it. And there are schools that are in power conferences that got a little bit lucky. And Oregon State and Washington State were that.
Yeah, Oregon State, I feel like, man, they had to have done something wrong because they should be, I feel like they should be a better program.
Well, they were fine when they were getting all that money in the Pac-12. But where I'm just getting at with this is just putting things in a little bit of perspective. This is going to be a fun season. There's going to be a lot of smack talk, as there is, but even more so now when you play those schools that are leaving. Right? When you play Colorado State and Utah State plus Bronco Mendenhall for New Mexico, San Diego State, Boise State. Like, there's going to be something extra in football and, of course, in basketball season. But looking at this from the national perspective, looking at this from, all right, what are these football programs viewed right now? It ain't that far off, man. There's one school that is above everyone else. And they've proven it, and they've won games. And that's Boise State. Everyone else, you guys are just standing eye to eye, yelling you're better, pot meat kettle.
Help me out. Like, realistically, and I'm not going to, and I promise I'm not going to go this route with Boise State, but who was there, like, what were they viewed as before Genty? Like, did they have like a stud player, or were they good, or was it literally just him?
They've been to like New Year's Six bowl games. Kellen Moore is one of the winningest quarterbacks in college football history.
Kellen Moore.
Look at Kellen Moore's college stats.
Yeah, he was. I remember when
the Fiesta Bowl victory back in 2007. What was that? 8. Yeah. Jared Zambransky. Like Boise State's legit, and it wasn't Ashton Genty that put them on the map.
No, I remembered back in the Kellen Moore days. I was thinking of more so like
20 years ago.
No, I was thinking more so like within the past like 4 or 5 years before he got there. Like, because I remember Kellen Moore. I remember because back then I remember when Dallas picked him, and I was like, okay, and I went and looked at his stats and saw he was legit. And then of course, I mean, I don't know how much of it is because of the blue field, but I've always kind of had an eye on Boise State and knew about them. And actually, his Leighton Vander Esch came from there. So yeah,
Leighton Vander Esch. Khalil Shakir,
he was a
Boise State product. Playing for the Bills, just got a contract this offseason. Like, there's dudes. Like, Boise State, they've done it. They've been doing it for a while. And they're the one team, yeah, you absolutely can look down on everyone else. But the rest of this stuff, the lawsuits, acting like it's the Mountain West is the worst thing. The Mountain West has held all these teams back. It's like, not so fast, man.
Yeah. I really wish I could get like a generator. I mean, I can't use AI and just generate, okay, no blue field. Just Boise State before NIL still had that much pull in recruiting.
For where they are, yes. Now, we'll get into that. But I thought it was really interesting just to bring up, all right, as we count down to the end of the Mountain West Conference as we know it, just are these schools that much better? Are these schools going to just explode in the Pac-12, this new era of college athletics? Because when you look at what have you done for me lately on the football field, it's not that far off from the departing schools and the remaining schools in the Mountain West Conference. The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Win tickets to see Lainey Wilson in concert.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports.
Dude, how'd you forget about your boy DeMarcus Lawrence? Second round draft pick for the Dallas Cowboys out of Boise State.
Yeah, he's too tired.
Gonna do big things in Seattle this year. It's a comeback, baby.
Cowboy fans will never forgive Lawrence for that. After they lost to the Packers, he's asked in a little interview. It's the first time the players really started showing their faces after they were the first number 2 seed to lose to the 7th seed in NFL history, I might add. They asked him, so what was it? Like, why, you guys hadn't lost a game at home all year. A number 2 seed's never lost to a 7th seed. What happened? And this man, DeMarcus Lawrence, got on national television, on ESPN, and told them that the Cowboys were tired and that it's a long season and people don't realize how fatigue affects players and that they were tired, and he thinks that fatigue just caught up to them. As if everybody else doesn't play the same amount of games.
Well, do you think the problem with the Dallas Cowboys is they drafted too many players from Boise State?
At one point.
Orlando Scandrick, going back now.
He was good, though.
Tyrone Crawford.
He was good.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
He was good.
Cedric Wilson.
He was
Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, dude, Boise State's been there, done that. It wasn't just Ashton Genty.
Yeah. Jerry, I think Genty, they never went 12-1, though.
Boise State?
Like national, like top 4,
yeah, they won the Fiesta Bowl in 2006, going 13-0.
Yeah, I remember that. That's like the 3rd biggest game.
From 2002 to 2012, they won 11 or more games 10 times. Mm-hmm. Like, Boise State's the one team I look at and you guys got it.
Okay.
Like, talk your talk. Like, a bad year for Boise State. They were 8-6. And they fired Andy Avalos. Spencer Anderson took over. That was 2023. And then they go 12-2 last year and get to college football playoff.
When I first started doing this show, I thought Boise the team that you just really, really dislike? I think I was listening to you one time. I was like, this guy's not like Boise State.
Well, Boise State, for the Mountain West Conference, like, you give them credit, but they're the team that frustrates you because they win all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things.
Gotcha.
It's like, it's Kansas City. It's Yankees back in the day. You're just like, just stop winning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Boise State. But I appreciate what they've done. They can talk the talk because they've walked the walk. But the rest of the Mountain West Conference, the teams that are leaving that are just trying to sue their way to owing nothing on the way out. They're just trying to blame the Mountain West for everything. And you've kept us down for so long. Take a step back, man. Let's look at the big picture. What is the college football world saying about you? And they're saying, well, you know what? Yeah, it's Boise State and UNLV, who happens to be staying in the Mountain West Conference. They're getting some love. Everyone else, you're all in the same boat. And it's just a little perspective that you get outside the bubble a little bit. Fan base is arguing back and forth in social media. Just who are you on the football field? Now, yeah, you know, you're asking those questions about whose Boise State was. Well, they started popping about 2002, right? They were an FCS football team.
Wow.
They were playing in the Big West in 2000. And just think of what they've done in 25 years. It's insane. Join the WAC, dominate the WAC, join the Mountain West Conference in 2011, win a Fiesta Bowl again in 2014, play a CFP appearance last year. So they're the one school that's going, man, how did we not land in the Big 12? How did we not ever make that jump? When you're looking at what TCU did or BYU and Utah that have had their time in the Mountain West Conference. Like, Boise State can back it up. And there's a long track record of dudes at Boise State.
Yeah, I got here. It says since 86, when they actually switched to field, they're 182 and 39. Since 2000, they're 109 and 8.
And they've had dudes, man. I just running down this list of draft picks, and you look at, all right, when they really started to get going in the early 2000s, and you started sending guys to the league, it really started to pick up. Look at Ryan Clady with 12th overall pick, tackle for the Broncos in 2008. And then, that's when it started taking off. They had back-to-back years where they had a player go, 2008, 2010, players go in the first round. And think about, just good players, too. Doug Martin, Boise State running back.
Wow.
Jay Ajayi.
Wow. Yeah, I'm getting some nostalgia
Popped
here.
at times.
So when you notice a team like, say, for Dallas, when they're grabbing that many players from one school, is it just like they like a conditioning coach there? Is it? I wonder what it is. Now, if they have the same coach, or they've got some guy in the organization that's responsible for, the character of the players, that would make all this sense. But I think it's really weird because I know Dallas has got that kind of thing with Arkansas as well. They love Arkansas
because it's Jerry Jones.
Oh, yeah, he's an Arkansas guy. Yeah, that one answers
That
itself.
one makes sense. Little Felix Jones in your life?
Ah, man. I was just talking about him online. That was my favorite player.
Felix Jones?
Yeah, I was one of those guys.
Yeah, who was it? Is it, wasn't there two? Was it?
It was Barber and Felix. Marion Barber. Rest in peace.
Was Peyton Hillis in Arkansas? I'm trying to think. Wasn't it someone like Felix and someone else?
Oh, Darren McFadden.
There we go.
Yep, they both got drafted.
That's what I was trying to think of. I don't know why. Darren McFadden and Felix Jones.
Run DMC.
I'm in Arkansas backfield. Darren McFadden had his moments as a fantasy superstar.
Yeah. I wouldn't call his career a letdown, but NFL was loving him when he was a prospect.
Who are going to be the fantasy superstars this year? You can find some things in preseason, but the headline last night was Anthony Richardson, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Which young quarterbacks want to make a positive impression this weekend? We'll tell you the storylines you need to watch for. Coming up next, it's the opening drive right here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like me sure that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you
One step forward, two steps back for Anthony Richardson last night. Just a dislocated pinky, but every speed bump is just another thing that gets in the way for Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts. Really interested to watch a lot of the young guys this weekend. Championship expectations, that's what head coach Kevin O'Connell has for his Minnesota Vikings. Well, they got J.J. McCarthy, a redshirt freshman quarterback from Michigan, getting handed the keys to the offense. He's got plenty of playmakers around him. What happens with Shedeur Sanders tonight, getting a start against the Panthers? Opportunity, the door is open. Can you step through it? Joe Flacco, he's locked in. So you got to show enough and say, you know what? I can be QB2 here. I can be better than Kenny Pickett. I can be better than Dylan Gabriel. And at some point, yeah, you're going to give me that shot over Joe Flacco to see, did you guys win the lottery getting Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round? Heck, Tyler Shuck, Sunday, Saints Chargers, the 2nd-round pick, 26-year-old rookie quarterback for the Saints in a Kellen Moore offense, the Boise State legend. What is he going to look like? Justin Fields and the Jets trying to build some consistency. Then there's the guys, it's like, is this the way? Joe Burrow, 123, 2 touchdowns last night. the reason the Bengals has got off the slow starts is not Joe Burrow in the offense. So I think after seeing that game, Zach Taylor, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. We don't need to see Joe Burrow until week 1. I don't want to put him out there again.
No. But for Cincy fans, be a little worried. Be a little worried because that defense was getting lit up by the Eagles' second string offense. Bad. Like the quarterback dicing him up. That the Eagles have got this guy. I think I heard the commentator say he was the tallest receiver in the league, but is at 6'7". It doesn't seem like it makes. There's got to be somebody else at 6'7" or maybe 6'8". But that guy was going on top of everybody. The Bengals defense is not, Logan Wilson, he's out there giving it his all, but I saw him having to go sideline to sideline. And, the Bengals defense just keep getting reps, right? Keep getting reps. That's what the preseason's for. Hopefully it improves, but you don't want to see your ones getting beaten up by the Eagles' second string in the first. We were just saying that defense usually has the edge at the beginning of things.
Logan Wilson, Mountain West product, University of Wyoming. There's dudes, man. The Mountain West has been fine. Mountain West is putting dudes into the league, has been holding other schools back. It's been pretty darn good. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. JJ Bucks A. Johnson holding it down. Adrian on ProView Networks. We're going to see Cam Ward make his debut for the Tennessee Titans. Number 1 overall pick. Is he, as a quarterback, as the number 1 overall pick, the quietest one we've seen in some time?
100%. And I think it's crazy how no one is anticipating his first game. No one's anticipating seeing what he looks like. I don't know if it's because obviously Shadour's got a big effect, but right now some of that's kind of dispersed a little bit. Some of that attention's dispersed to other players around the league, other rookies. I hear people talking about Tyler Shuck more than I hear or Jackson Dart more than I hear Cam Ward get any. I think it's because we knew he was going 1 for so long, and then he went 1.
But then also with that, there's usually expectations, and now even more so than ever, just because C.J. Stroud flashed, Jaden Daniels flashed. Right now we're coming in, we're going, all right, show me something now. When that's not the way it should be across the board, but there's just that expectation. Or you're the number 1 overall pick, you're going to stay for a franchise. Heck, talking with Strauss earlier, he's like, I just want the Steelers to suck, and then we're going to pick a quarterback. Like, well, that's not always that simple. Mm-hmm. But with the number 1 overall pick does come different expectations. People just are not throwing that at Cam Ward to the Titans this season. Which is, I think that's actually good for him.
Yeah,
and
great
the Titans.
For him. Great.
They're not going to overanalyze it right now.
Yeah, I think. But what I can say is, some of the throws. I know you can't. I haven't seen his full practices, but some of the throws he's made in practice, I feel like a lot of those Titans receivers and the Titans fans, they might see some arm talent that they have not seen in a long time. Maybe since the Vince Young days.
Oof. Steve McNair.
Yeah.
Could sling it. But it's been a minute. No love for Ryan Tannehill? Playoff run? Yeah, I would say Cam Ward has a better arm than Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah. But then again, Tannehill, he won some games in the league, so, but his Dolphins run is going to cloud my judgment always.
Yeah, there was Mike Vrabel, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry. They did some special things in Tennessee. And that's, that's with it. And I think that's one of those really interesting things. And you look at a quarterback like Ryan Tannehill, right? We'll never sit there and be like, oh, this is a top 10 guy. You think he's elite at anything. But it was consistency. Gave that team an opportunity. They beat the New England Patriots in the playoffs.
Yeah. Joe Flacco without the rings or the playoff runs.
Yeah, and it's right moment, right time. Like, you always are going to be looking to land an elite guy at the quarterback position. Understand that. But again, as we've discussed, I think we get too caught up in elite or nothing. Like, you can't be in between. You can't just be good. Like, well, if you're good, you're not good enough. No, that's then when you take a step back and realize there are so many moving pieces to an NFL franchise and being good on the field. Mm-hmm. And there's that select few, right? Even with the elite, what has Joe Burrow done lately? We know he can get to a Super Bowl. He did it, and he beat Patrick Mahomes. But slow starts. An elite quarterback, not able to cover up everything. Almost can at times for Cincinnati, But that's, I think, what was also so intriguing the draw of football is you feel there's an opportunity that a young guy could come in and change your franchise. But there's also a balance in this. Like, just because a young guy might not be Jaden Daniels doesn't mean he's a bust yet. Yeah. Just because you're Baker Mayfield, and maybe you're not elite, but give me 40 touchdowns, a division winner, an opportunity in the postseason.
I don't know if I can remember the last time a quarterback by himself was responsible for a team's success as much as, like, if there was a percentage for how responsible Joe Burrow was for the Cincinnati Bengals getting their 10 wins last year, I don't know if there's been a percent as high since maybe, like, MVP Cam Newton.
That was why you look at the seasons, Josh Allen had, Lamar Jackson was having, that Bengals, they won 8 games last year?
I think they won 10.
Because they didn't make the playoffs.
I think they won 9 or 10, I believe.
Yeah, okay, they were 9-8. But a 9-8 team, that's why you had MVP votes for the league's leading passer, because he was that dude. But what I'm getting at in this conversation with the quarterback and looking at the future and the expectations for someone like Cam Ward, discussing Anthony Richardson, how much time is enough time for a quarterback like that to figure it out. It's the pieces, right? The pieces around him, the right coaching staff, the right style of play. Because right now, I'd say there's 4 elite guys in the league.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's Mahomes, it's Allen, it's Jackson, and Burrow. Right? And then you have your rest. And we'll see if Jaden Daniels can get there. People love him. She's saying, this is top 5 guy already. Okay. But CJ Stroud was the next Joe Burrow and then came back down to earth a little bit in year 2. But I think that the quarterback play in the NFL is deeper than a lot of people will say. I think it's a fascinating time between the elite guys versus the good guys that you want to have a chance to compete with, but so many people will say, well, they're not going to be good enough. And then still the future. The second-year quarterback. We're talking about 6 quarterbacks that people are hyped on. And with Bo Nix, Daniels, Drake May, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, a lot of people say, like, your memory makes things seem a lot better than it was. Is it my nostalgic memory, or was the quarterback play more, maybe, I don't want to say top heavy, but if you look at the top 5 and then compare to maybe like 2010.
Caleb Williams. I was like, I just said 5 and I was blanking on 6. The number 1 overall pick from last year is Caleb Williams.
But if we take like the top quarterbacks from 2010, the top quarterbacks now, do you think it's the talent's similar, or do you think those names just hit harder because their careers are finished? We know how it ended. Like, you start saying Big Ben being like, he was consistent, like the 5th.
Oh, and you look at that era where you had Brady,
Manning,
Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers.
You can say Phillip Rivers even if you want.
But I think Rivers, Matt Ryan, those are the quarterbacks that they're not elite, very good.
Which ones?
Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan.
Okay.
Guys like that. I think there's always just been a handful of elite guys in every era. I think the depth right now is pretty good.
Yeah, it is very good. I think Matt may have hit elite that one season. Phillip, I might give him a few years where those probably with LT, right? Those Chargers teams, LT, Antonio Gates,
short in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Now Matt Ryan is the example of why we scream about championships so much. He wins that game and they're up 28-3. We are talking about Matt Ryan differently.
Yeah.
But that's the world we live in. 505-246-0610. Phones are ringing. We'll continue. We got on our quarterback tangent, but we'll take your calls. We'll wrap it up after this right here on The Sports Animal.
This is JR from the JR Sport Brief Show with Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services.
And Jerry Jones were not seen yesterday at Cowboys training camp. So I was like, oh, okay. Did they get together? Did they have a little brunch? Did they enjoy a burrito like we did this morning from Central Grill?
Yeah,
Shout out to Central Grill and Coffee House.
Shout out to Central Grill and Coffee House
for breakfast. Thank you.
They are great. You know, don't go there on a Monday because they're closed. I always make that mistake. Historically, I'd always decide to crave them on Mondays. I don't know what it is, and then I'd go pull up to their place and see that they're closed. And I was like, oh, okay. But yes, the reports are that Micah and Jerry met for about 4 hours 2 days ago. So the night, Friday, the night of Wednesday night. The reports are they met for about 4 hours. No indication on what they spoke about, how it went. There's a lot of cowboy accounts that will say fake things for fun just to, mess with people. And I saw that one of them said that they were hearing that I guess the agent was on FaceTime or something like that. But I don't know.
That was my question. Like, I don't care. I'm sorry. At this point in time, if Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones are talking, Micah Parsons has made it very clear that nothing is getting done without his agent. So was his agent involved at all?
That's the biggest thing. And then also what's the red flag is those two things. Number one, because as far as me and you are concerned right now, Micah already made that mistake once. That is on him. Jerry's a veteran here. Jerry, he was the first one to tell the reporters. I guess he bought the Cowboys with a handshake. That wasn't some formal agents there meeting. That's how he bought Dallas. Micah has already made the mistake once. So if he's talking with Jerry for 4 hours, I would hope that he had somebody else there or present to not allow him to get himself in a deeper hole.
Like we're just running it back.
Yes. And then what's also a red flag is that, he's been saying back tightness and all this stuff, but we know it's because of the contract. And I guess back tightness is what his camp is saying as to why he wasn't at the practice yesterday, although he does not participate in the practice anyways. So that scares me a little bit because I'm hoping Jerry's big mouth didn't push him farther away to the point where now he's not showing up to the practices. Or this could be calm before the storm and either he gets traded or he gets signed. I'm not sure. But for him, for the first time to not show up to the camp right after they reportedly had a 4-hour meeting is definitely something that makes my ears perk a little bit. I just can't figure out what could have gone on.
Nothing's going to get done unless the agent is involved. And I think Michael Parsons has made that pretty clear at this moment in time. I know we talked so much about the quarterbacks this morning, been hyper-focused on the young quarterbacks position, what happened with Anthony Richardson last night. But the dude I'm probably most excited for this season is Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
And Liam Cohen, Jaguars head coach, say Hunter is playing both ways. They're going to let him play both ways this weekend. And it's interesting the perspective from the NFL players versus Travis Hunter. Like Travis Hunter, on our appearance with Up and Adams yesterday, said it's not difficult at all. He said, quote, "It's not hard at all, if I'm being honest, on playing both sides of the football. The first off day that we had, I came back and did both sides, and that's the only thing that got to me. After that, I've been good." So pretty much what he tells you is, yeah, that first day or two, it was just wrapping my head around everything, and then it hasn't been hard at all. But then you have someone like Devontae Adams, which I'll listen to what Devontae Adams has to say. Pretty good dude. He doesn't think that Travis Hunter won't be able to do it. He just doesn't believe it's going to be long term. So Devontae Adams was on the Pivot podcast this week, and they were talking about Travis Hunter. And he said, quote, "I want to see Travis Hunter do his thing." But he added, "I don't even think it's possible to do for real, not at a high level. I'm not even concerned so much if he can do it over a course of a game or a season. It's more how long is his career going to be if he's playing that many snaps," end quote. So I think that's the sense you're getting from a lot of NFL guys is they say, all right, go out there, man, do your thing. But 2, 3, 4 years down the line, are you still going to be able to be that guy both ways?
I think this is one of those situations where me and you can sit in this situation and take a step back and remove ourselves from our bodies and look at the whole grand scheme of this thing and understand that as time has gone on, you look at athletes, they're able to do more. And like Achilles injuries and NBA side, because that's the only thing that really makes you pump the brakes on this. But everything is indicating that every single year athletes are doing, or you can maybe see generation, they're starting to be able to do more and more things that the past was not able to, not because those people are better, but because the process of evolution and learning new things and trying new, nutrition. Travis has been treating his body like an NFL player for years now. So I completely understand what Devontae Adams is saying. But what I believe is he's going off of what he knows historically, what he's seen historically from this point to the past. We don't know what athletes will be able to do in the future. Maybe 15 years from now, it could be normal and you could be like, oh, people could do this. Because 15 years ago, if you'd ask somebody if someone could be the same age as LeBron or even Steph and still be as effective as they are, you wouldn't have bet your money on it. But now here we are. And LeBron has set the bar high. And within the next 40, 50 years, someone else. They may not be LeBron, but they're going to be in their 40s still playing as good as they were in their 25. And Travis could be the next athlete to break through that little trend.
One of one. Now there's Shohei Ohtani. There's Travis Hunter. And we'll get to see Hunter take the field against the Steelers tomorrow, playing both ways in the NFL. Adrian, appreciate you all week long on ProView Network. Thank you for helping us look good. Zay, man, thanks for getting up. I know it's been a busy week for you. I always appreciate it, dude.
Yes, sir.
You got Colin Howard coming up next. Jim Rome at 1 o'clock. The boys with 2 men on at 4 as Topes baseball continues. Go out there and see them this weekend at Rio Grande Credit Union Field. Symbieta back on Monday morning. Y'all can breathe a sigh of relief. Everybody, Meta World, peace and love. Have a great weekend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf.